All right. Everyone, today's theme is designing the river city future systems that scale, models that work. So, today's session brings together four powerful approaches that help us rethink how cities interact with rivers, from how we plan, how we track, how we recover, and how do we comply. We have four speakers today, as you're already aware. Mr. Ramanuj Mitra will speak about climate risk mapping and watershed planning. He'll be reminding us that if climate resilience is not built into infrastructure planning, we're simply rebuilding the future risks. Our second speaker, Mr. AJ Rao, he'll be presenting a live success story, a real time waste exchange system that digitally tracks waste movement and prevents illegal dumping in the rivers. His work shows how digital systems can create environmental accountability at scale and all because the entire world is moving towards digital models. So this is very, very timely. Then we have very experienced speaker, Dr. Vijai Singhal. He'll be introducing the concept of integrated waste recycling parks, a very interesting model, a new kind of model. This is a model that physically brings together recycling industries to reduce leakage, promote circularity, and prevent toxic waste from entering the ecosystem. So it's talking about something very integrated, very centralized system. Then we have the fourth speaker is Madhuri Singh, who works with JK Cement. She brings voices from inside the heavy industry. So it is very important to learn and hear from the industry folks also. So she'll be showing that how centralized compliance system and ESG integration can move companies from what we call as checkbox compliance to actually real environmental responsibilities. And she'll also share her real story and
Hello everyone. Sorry, I traveling. There will be some noise from my side. Yeah.
no problems. Am I audible?
Yeah, sir. You are audible. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. So these are four people. So over to Ram. I think the first one will be Ramanuj Mitra. So Ramanuj, you're ready. If you're ready, then can you please share your slide and start with a bit of introduction? Thank you,
Sure.
Ramanuj.
Thanks, Saurabh. I will just try to share my screen. Is it visible?
Yeah, it's visible, Ramanuj.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Good evening, everyone. I will start with a brief background. I am Ramanuj Mitra. I'm been working in the sustainability domain for around 9-10 years now. So I've been associated with many organizations in the past, and I can't really call myself an expert in any one topic, unfortunately, but I have dealt into several things such as greenhouse gas reporting and risk reduction strategies, climate risk assessment for some companies, manufacturing companies in East, and I've also done policy advocacy efforts in multiple states as part of my work with the Center for Responsible Business earlier. Right now, I'm based in Kolkata, and I'm trying to build an initiative, which is what I will talk to you about briefly. So first of all, I want to talk about the focus of the initiative is the eastern states of India, that is basically West Bengal, Odisha, and Jharkhand. Now, why these three states? Because as you know that the per capita income as well as industrial built-in infrastructure and industry is still the percentage is quite low in these states, and also but their population is quite dense in this area. Almost between these three states, 20 crores is the population of these states, who are highly vulnerable. All these people are highly vulnerable to the impacts of climate change going ahead. And here, in the last few years, I have come to the realization that even though the public and industrial infrastructure is yet to come up in these states, but the planners and the officials who are part of these three state governments, so they are not really aware of what is coming in about, say, 5, 10, or 15 years, what kind of challenges we are going to face with water availability, and especially at the watersheds. These three states also share some common resources, such as the Damodar Valley Basin, and then there is Subarnarekha Basin as well between the boundaries of all the three states. So they do have some quite a bit shared water resources, but there is a lot of bits and pieces, some solutions happening in so many places, but it is not really happening at the watershed scale. So what we are trying to do here is we have approached some multilateral agencies in association with CRB, and we are taking to them this idea that we have to we have to try to build in this climate risk assessment process in all the infrastructure and industrial projects that will come in the state. And then we are going to build a compendium of case studies, which we hope that is going to help educate both the communities as well as government people in these few states. Potential outcomes or impacts which we see from these are such that there will be more awareness among stakeholders who are actually in the decision-making capacity, where they need to learn urgently that the watershed approach is required and climate risk assessment must be done before any kind of pipeline or residential as well as industrial complexes are built in these states. And then we also hope that if this kind of data and climate risk assessment is done, then it will also build the confidence of these industries to come in and invest into these states, because they know what to expect in the coming years. In terms of helping the Blue Cities network, since this initiative largely is still in the planning and fundraising space, but what we do hope is that once this awareness and the capacity building sessions start taking place in these three states, then there will be a greater momentum to work towards the health of watersheds, especially, and that I'm sure is going to tie into the mission of Blue Cities. So yeah, that's the initiative that I wanted to talk about.
So thank you, Ramanuj. Very interesting. First of all, very shocking large number. I thought there was a mistake of 1 0 in, so I thought it'll be 2 crores, but you said 20.
No.
That's a big
20
number.
crores, yeah.
Yeah, it's a
20 crores is,
massive number.
yeah.
So it's like 200 million people. We're sitting on a very large number. And I think it's a huge opportunity also for any kind of like when organizations want to work in this kind of sector, it's also a massive opportunity to create impact. So wanted to understand few things, Ramanuj, that who are the key stakeholders who in this program? Like, are they already in, or if you're planning, who would be the key stakeholders?
Planning. So one of the key stakeholders is that we want to bring in the industrial associations. For example, here there is Bengal Chamber of Commerce, and also this approach because since I've worked with CRB before, and even now I've taken I've taken this idea to CRB, and they are willing to collaborate, and they follow this model that we pick up important stakeholders who have that kind of connect and who can mobilize people. Because in these states, since the culture is very much top down yet, so bottom up kind of approach might take too long. So what we are trying to do is through these industrial bodies as well as other stakeholders who we already know and have a relationship with in these three states. Through them, we want to connect with the state governments, and we want them to convince them to nominate officers who they want to get trained in this climate risk assessment approach and in climate adaptation technologies. And particularly some key, we are going to do a thorough stakeholder mapping, of course, but we are going to target this departments of urban planning, irrigation, and a few other ministries who actually have a footprint in the watershed related work.
And who's your key end target audience? Like who's going to get affected or get trained?
Get training. So the training part will be there mostly for the state government officials who are at the district level and block level officers who are responsible for building those public infrastructure as well as industrial complexes. Because all of these we are talking about the watershed approach, because there are so many organizations in India also who are working on these water solutions, but that is happening in bits and pieces. So we want the government to look at the entire watershed and then do the planning. So they are
Sure.
the primary stakeholders, and then we also hope to get support from the industry, since
Yeah.
the end goal is to build is to bring industries in these states as well, keeping
Yeah.
climate risk in mind.
Hi.
So, yeah. Please go ahead. Somebody had a question.
So I had a question. I'm sorry for disturbing.
No, please go ahead.
So actually, I'm from Orissa. I'm living in Bhubaneswar right now, and this project
Mhm.
really kind of sheds light on the kind of things that I'm observing as a environmentalist. And I was hoping if I could be roped in into a project such as this.
Sure, sure. Any help that we can get is good. Right now it is still, as I said, that it is still in the fundraising and planning phase. But let's please connect and see how we can help each other and try to build the
Uh,
momentum.
Ramanuj, what is the kind of fund you're looking for to raise in this? Like you have
Kind
thought
of
about
fun.
some ball.
See, ballpark. We at least it is for a 2 to 3 year timeline, maybe 2 years. So for a 2 year timeline, at least we are going to need at least 1.2 crores.
Okay. And this covers everything or
Yeah, this covers everything. Like the
Hmm.
how it works with non-profit agencies, that they have
Sure.
to apply cover some
Yeah.
of the manpower costs, and then we have to build those modules to do the training, and then all the travel and all of that costs put together.
So
But they
this is
hmm.
so this entire model is uses awareness and training as a tool, right? Or something else is
Training as
also
a
no.
tool, no. So these there are two components. So
Hmm.
the training and awareness part is going to feed into the main work, that is the policy advocacy role, because here, unless and until it is built into the industrial development policy of these
Hmm.
three states, that a thorough climate risk assessment will be done before any kind of pipeline or tower or
Hmm.
industrial complexes are built in. So unless that is a part of policy, then these things are not going to move.
Hmm.
And the second part of our policy advocacy is that the state governments will have to take a leading role in getting this assessment done, because the cost is quite high. For doing a thorough climate risk assessment can be costly. So
So just
and see,
trying to understand that what are let's say if you have to tell five things that will be done under this program, what are those five things?
so five things, or rather, I would
I
say
mean, it can be any numbers. You,
three
you can
things.
you, you can
Yeah,
you can take your numbers, whatever
yeah.
numbers.
So
Yeah.
it's so basically we are going to do three things under this project. So
Hmm.
the first of all, there is this capacity building as well as awareness at three levels of government. That is
Sure.
at the state level, district level, and block level.
Yes.
That is one part. The second part is that we are going to build a compendium, which actually I've already started working on, building a
Sure.
compendium of watershed scale case studies from all over the country,
Okay.
which we are going to publish. Also, one thing which I have not told here yet, that I'm also undergoing a fellowship right now
Hmm.
with International Water Association.
Hmm.
So I am also so one component of this research is also supported by them. So this
Sure.
compendium will help guide, be a part of these modules, which we are going to use to train the officials on ground to do their own risk assessment on ground.
And the third one?
And the third thing is basically this long-term policy advocacy. We want to nudge these three state governments to actually take this up, because we
Sure.
won't be able to reach all the blocks and all the districts to do the training. We just want to build the momentum and get out of the process.
Hmm.
Otherwise,
Okay.
there's like no end to the funds required, and no really proper outcome.
And this is
So
a repetitive, this is a scale. The model can be replicated in other regions as well, or it's
yeah,
very
yeah,
specific to one
yeah, yeah, yeah,
particular.
yeah. It can be done in any given state.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
the once this pilot is successful, we can replicate it. Okay,
Yes.
Ramesh, this is very interesting. And on that note, I would also like to tell you that we have Earth Fiber app, which is used for awareness education. It has a lot of geotagging features. So, in case in this project, we can definitely discuss and we can also figure out, somewhere there is opportunity to fund this project and how Earth Fiber itself can become one of the probably the funder or we can provide you technology for that. and we can figure those things out. But we'll talk in detail much later on about this. But it's very interesting study.
Can I make a small suggestion to
Yes, Dr.
Ramanuj?
Singhal.
Yes, sir, please go ahead, sir.
Actually, most of the environmental policies are made at the central level. States are normally implement those policies. There is no independent a policy of any state. In fact, all the regulations related to environmental impact or pollution control, climate change, they are all have been formulated at the central level. I would suggest that you nudge the central government on these aspects so that these issues are adopted into the existing regulations by the central government, because state alone will not be able to implement any of these policies. You said the cost of implementation is very high, so there will be resistance from the industrial houses. Nowadays, no state want to lose industries. So I mean, to get implemented at the level of states will be much difficult, legally, less tenable. If we approach a central government through Ministry of Environment and other relevant ministries, chances of getting a success is much higher. That's my take on this.
Thank you, sir. Yes. CRB as an organization, sir, it's actually also situated in Delhi, and they have a good footprint with the departments and ministries over there.
Absolutely.
I used to work with them before, so actually that's also the idea. I mean, they have a parallel process going throughout the year to engage with the central government, but now we are also trying to engage with the state level
Yeah, that's
ministries.
good. I mean, you need to
Yeah.
build their capacity. That is required. But then on the law front, they won't really do much. That is,
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Yes, sure.
All right. So over to the next speaker, Mr. AJ Rao, who's going to present real-time waste exchange system, and he's going to talk about how digital systems can create environmental accountability at scale. So, Mr. AJ Rao, would you like to present your slides and do a bit of introduction?
Yeah. I'm just trying to show. Yeah, are the slides visible?
Yeah, the
Hello?
slides are visible. Yes, Mr. Rao.
Yeah, okay. Uh, good evening, everyone. I'm Ajay Rao, and more than with more than 3 decades of experience in a wide range of environmental and sustainability related projects and issues. Actually started my career way back with Tata Steel as their environmental head for their mines and few other divisions, and then I have continued in the same year. Basically, I'm a chemical engineer by education, and uh, converted myself 30 years ago as an environmental engineer, more 35 years ago, and had some passion for the subject and continuing it. And presently, I'm working as a director as well as an advisor, a couple of companies, environmental consulting companies. One is Ecomen Mining Private Limited, the other is GCRS, and I'm on their board. And I also work as a freelance consultant. And then my area of expertise has been industrial and municipal wastewater projects, and environmental impact assessment studies, environmental policies, safeguards and advisories, and concept design and implementation of environmental projects. I've been with the Ministry of Environment in their expert appraisal committee for the industries for about 3.5 years, and I've also been a former technical advisor to the AP Pollution Control Board and AP Environment Management Corporation. Also, during this long career of about more than 30 years, I've had the opportunity to get involved in a wide range of projects in India as well as several overseas projects as well. Mm. And my approach to sustainability in cities is actually effective waste management, because I think most of our Indian cities, as all of you would agree, suffer from bad waste management within the city, and we face all sorts of problems in various kinds of waste management, be it MSW or plastic waste, e-waste, biomedical waste. And this has been a major problem for almost all Indian cities, and the way they are growing actually, then the the issues or the problems become much larger, and always the planning it falls short of the actual growth. So that's where I think and then because of this poor waste management, it leads to indiscriminate dumping of waste. Again, whether it's a plastic waste or municipal solid waste into the nearby rivers or other water bodies in and around the city. It could be lakes, it could be streams. We have nalas flowing across several Indian cities, and which are very, very dirty, and which are clogged at several places, and all this leading to various kinds of health issues, and the city also loses beauty or aesthetics actually. So all of us know about this way. So one of the projects I'm going to discuss, where I've been very closely involved right from the conceptual stage to the design and implementation stage, is the you know um, is about a kind of an online real-time waste exchange platform for the state of Andhra Pradesh. Actually, in 2020, we started conceptualizing this area. It was initially, for the industrial waste, industrial liquid waste, as well as the, hazardous waste. That was the original idea, that we will start with that and slowly expand to the other wastes, actually, because from the industry, we also do get lot of high volume non-hazardous waste as well, like fly ash, or from the steel industry slag, or from the alumina industry red mud, and so on, from the fertilizer industry, that we get various kinds of wastes actually. And our original plan was to really include these, and we thought of tracking the entire waste actually, right from the generation and till its final destination. It could be going to a recycler, it could be going to a reprocessor, or it could be going to a landfill, or it could be going to a TSDF, or in case of liquid waste to a CETP or other wastewater treatment systems. So our intention was to really track everything, actually the entire amount of waste generated by the industries within the state, track in its entire life cycle, and then actually, and again in real time, actually in real time. So that was our intention. So, and therefore we thought of developing a platform for this. Initially, the
Mr.
pollution goal
Rao,
was
Mr.
supposed to have
Rao,
taken this.
sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt, but we'll have to wrap up in next 2 minutes because we have a lot of questions and answers also. So I think a lot of things
for sure.
will come out in question answer session as well. So can we try
Fine,
to
fine,
wrap up
fine.
in next 2 minutes? Yeah.
Okay, okay. So just going to the previous slide, it's first of its kind in the country, and it has been in successful operation for past 4 years, more than 4 years actually. Okay, and these are the stakeholders, the generators, the waste generators, and we have transporters and all the vehicles, and then the receivers, who are actually the either the recyclers or reprocessors or the waste management facilities. So this is the these are the impacts so far. So we have established a portal to connect to industries, and it has a combined solution of waste transaction, and there's a manifest generation, especially for the hazardous waste, and then there's a payment and tracking, because the entire thing is actually, we have developed it as a revenue model for the state. The all the industries, all the stakeholders, they have a registration or they have a licensing arrangement, and then there's a joining fee, and followed by even the transportation fee. Depends on what distance the waste travels. So a kind of fee structure has been developed, and we have here with that, and we had subsequently thought of actually developing this portal to include other wastes, like I mentioned before, especially for the cities, whether it's MSW or plastic waste and other waste. But this we couldn't do. But for a city, I'm pretty sure the same model can be replicated, and it's possible. So yeah, this is, how it can be. See, the because we are also talking about the cities and also the rivers or the water bodies in the city. Actually, the first and foremost, yeah, with the takeaway from this is it will minimize the indiscriminate dumping of the waste in the rivers and streams. And since the entire waste can be accounted for and it can be tracked in this entire life cycle, and yes, it can be replicated, and it is scalable. It can be downsized, or it can be, upscaled also, and it is implementable to Indian cities. And yes, any type of collaboration is welcome. And actually, from the network, I'm looking at the city planners and even Amrit cities, tied to cities of India, and we are looking for partners and funding.
Okay, very
So that's all.
interesting.
I think the other I just prepared. Yeah.
So, Mr. Rao, very interesting work. Actually, there is a
Yes, Mr.
lot of,
Gupta.
we have a lot of questions, and I would definitely want to have a very detailed 60 minutes or 45 minute session with you separately, because there is a lot of knowledge you have, and this is a very burning
Sure, sure.
problem. So, quickly, just want to understand that who are the stakeholders? I mean, I know you have mentioned three stakeholders. Can you go back to that particular slide? The three types of partners you
Oh, sorry.
mentioned, the second slide.
So, see, basically, if we are talking about cities, actually, so
Hmm.
that's what, in fact, the stakeholders, in my opinion,
Can we go
for
to
a
the
city,
second
I'll
slide?
just, if you can,
The second slide. Yes, here.
yeah.
So generators, transport, receivers. So receivers, when you say receivers, who are the receivers?
Yeah, receivers could be actually mainly recyclers. That's where the circularity get developed.
Okay, okay.
Recyclers, reprocessors, or even the treatment facilities. There are several, whether it is a common effluent treatment plant or a landfill. Actually, of course, landfills are mostly owned by either the large industries or the municipalities.
And this is how
So
many
yes,
cities in Andhra
so
Pradesh? How many cities in Andhra
no.
Pradesh are
It is
covered?
it's not exactly cities actually. See, it is
Hmm.
connecting up the entire all the industries of the state. All the industries of the state. So the
Okay.
generators, 1192 numbers you are seeing, these are actually, of course, MSME are not included, but large and medium scale industries. So these
But
are
where
the
are they? What's the
industries
geographical
actually.
location for this entire 1,192 generators? What is the location? Like, was it throughout the state or particular cities, few cities?
No, it is not city. See, let's understand this. Most of these actually industries are either located close to the cities or they are in industrial clusters. Actually,
Yeah.
that's how
So,
in
so
this.
are they spread across the entire Andhra Pradesh? Because, first of all, this is a working project, right? This project is already on,
That's right.
right?
That's right. That's right.
So,
Yeah.
we just want to understand that, like the slide says that this is for Andhra Pradesh state, right? So that
Yeah.
means that
Yeah.
which cities in Andhra Pradesh, or it's the entire state? Where are these
Entire state.
generators
Entire
spread?
state.
Entire state? Okay.
That's what it connects up all these. Industries of the state, whether they
Okay.
are located close to the city or irrespective of wherever they are located.
Okay.
But
And
most of
these
the because we have initially we start. Yeah.
receivers are also nearby.
Yes, they are also most of the receivers are either in the cities or close to the cities.
Okay. And what is the technology you're using? You're using IoT
No,
apps,
no,
or what are those technologies?
that's right. We have used IoT. Actually, it's a total
Hmm.
because we have invited. See, because I had given my technical inputs actually as
Hmm.
a waste management expert to this
Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
and then the state had invited IT experts, and together, and I was with them, and we developed, and then okay, like talking to various industries, bringing all the stakeholders on the same platform
Mm-hmm.
actually on the same platform, making them understand what benefits is going to finally result in. So
Yeah.
those were my inputs.
There are some questions from the audience also. Please go ahead and ask your questions.
Can I ask a
So
question to Mr. Rao?
Sure.
yeah, please go ahead and ask
Yeah,
your
yes, sir.
questions here.
Actually, you are saying it's a online real-time waste exchange. I mean, I
Yeah,
think it appears to be a tracking system where we are trying to track the waste from the generator to the transporter and to the final recycler or disposal. There is no exchange
yes, sir.
between the industries because hazardous waste cannot be exchanged, liquid waste cannot be exchanged. So I mean, it's more of a traceability instrument to track the waste from the generator to the endpoint. I think probably if I understood correctly, is it?
Yeah, I mean, yes, it's a, say, like for example, lot of, for example, you have a thermal power plant, okay, which generates fly ash, and then you have cement industries in the state, okay. Earlier, actually, it was not being either properly managed or tracked, but because of this, now whatever the entire fly ash, generated within the state, everything almost, so the entire amount of fly ash gets properly, so we
Right.
connected up, actually it was connecting the dots between the end user and the waste generator.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because every waste, doesn't need manifest. Manifest look at only for hazardous waste. And the waste which are non-hazardous,
Yeah,
the manifest is not required. So how do we track that? So it's a good platform where you
yeah,
can track the waste where from generator how it is
yeah.
moved to the
Yes, sir.
final user
So,
or
so what we
destination.
so what we have done, what we have included. Initially, we started with hazardous waste, but subsequently, what we have done is we have targeted non-hazardous, high-volume industrial waste. Like fly ash or
Right.
the slag from the
Phosphorus
steel
sludge, yeah.
industry, or the gypsum from fertilizer plants. Actually, okay. So and all red mud from
Absolutely,
alumina
absolutely.
industry. So
Nice.
these kind of high volume, actually, they are in larger tonnages, actually, and there are already end users for them. Actually, there are end users, but then they were people were directly contacting. So we created a platform where the stakeholders can talk to each other. Talk to each other.
Because
So we have created that
And that is
that
why you're
kind of a
calling it
facility.
exchange. That is why you're
Yes,
calling it exchange.
yes. That's why
actually,
we
hazardous waste, these platforms are already available in all the states. They have
yeah,
a platform where you have to, upload a
and
manifest from
that's
generator to
right.
transporter and to the end user, whether
Yeah,
recycler. So, I mean, for hazardous
that's right.
waste, this kind of platforms are available. Even
Yeah.
at national level, they are looking at such a system of, the traceability. But of course, non-hazardous waste, there's no system. So it's a unique thing that where they are also doing with non-hazardous waste.
Mr. Rao, any information possible to get any information about what is the cost of building the technology, the entire tracking technology?
Well, well, for the state, when we built it, it cost us around 3 crores, actually.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
And how much
But
time?
then, it was a revenue. Initially, it took us about almost close to 11 months because there were
Okay.
several teething problems there. But today, actually, okay, I've spoken to the team members, who were involved in that.
Hmm.
Today, we'll be capable of installing this from the zero date within 6 months.
Oh, really? That's fast.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions from the audience on this?
Hello, sir. Yeah, good evening. Uh, Thank you, Professor Mr. Rao. So,
Yes,
you
sir.
have talked about that waste exchange platform or so. So, what Dr. Singhal pointed out, that is about the information, right? Anything about the processing or treatment, I mean, this outcome and the network to share. So, any information about that? What I mean to say,
No,
am I clear?
actually, I have a full scale presentation on this, including, because what we have done is see, all the trucks are actually geotagged. Actually, we have, like Ola or Uber, actually, we have developed that kind of a system wherein, because see, especially in the waste management, indiscriminate dumping of waste has been a real, I mean, issue all across the country. Actually, it has been a menace, I would say. Okay. So therefore, the biggest contribution of this this could be okay. One is okay. I mean, bringing all the stakeholders on the same platform, but at the same time, the biggest benefit of this I found is that that kind of indiscriminate dumping has stopped. And because all of us know if there is a low-lying area, people will dump the waste actually. Even the industries, night time they will dump the waste actually, liquid waste as well as the liquid effluent, as well as they'll pump in. So those kind of practices are prevailing. So to a large extent, I can't say we have succeeded 100%, but I can say that probably about 90% we have succeeded. And the state authorities are very happy, and that's why I thought this kind of, if we can take on this idea and pilot it in any Indian city, the city planners and the city administration will be quite happy, because
Yeah,
probably
that,
down the line you can expect to look at cleaner cities, and maybe with lesser pollution, the water bodies around.
So, Mr. Rao, I
yeah,
think
Mr.
that
Rao.
we'll
Yeah,
have a separate session for this, and I'm sure
sure.
that a lot of people would be interested in knowing in depth about this project. And I'm already seeing some case study, some use cases in our projects that we are working. So definitely would definitely want to dive deep into it. One
Sure.
question from Sumitra, which is, what about individual waste generators? Can they also be included?
See, like, I've thought about it actually. If for a city, actually, we should start with the bulk generators. Meaning, okay, they could be industrial establishment, they could be malls, they could be schools, colleges, offices, institutions. It's easier to track them. Individual houses, it will be difficult. We can target
No, I mean
the
not
townships.
really. You don't have to track individual houses, but at least at large, like for example,
Bulk generators.
cities like Mumbai, one
Yeah,
building has roughly around 70 flats, and a cluster has
sure.
something like 20 25 buildings. So you end up having 2,000 3,000 households, which is a decent,
Absolutely.
it's a
It's
massive amount of waste that
it,
comes.
It's quite possible. Only thing is the tracking part, geotagging and tracking and getting all the information, that may take a while actually.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
for a
yeah.
larger city, isn't it? If we have to really, have an inventory of what are the how many establishments are there. Forget about the individual houses, but how many group housing societies are there, or how many apartments are there, apartment blocks are there. So of course we can get the information from the municipality. It's not that very difficult. So we can start with that, and then yes, it's possible to really tag. And okay, I mean, we'll have a segregation of waste. Definitely we'll have, like, it's already that practice is prevailing in several places, that we have
What
different
level of
colored bins
segregation
for
you need?
different waste.
What level of segregation?
What
Like
level of?
current, what level of segregation? Because I'm sure in industrial ways the segregation is very fine level, like very it is at a very granular level.
Yeah.
But when it comes to residential waste, it's very difficult to have different, because you will get dry waste, wet waste at the
No, that's what
best,
actually say. You No, no, we can have 4 5 categories. It's not that difficult. You can have
Okay,
dry waste, we can have wet waste, we can have e-waste or
yeah,
battery waste
hazardous,
actually.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And then we can have plastic waste.
refuse
So if
waste
we start,
also, right?
if
Refuse
we, yeah,
waste
yeah,
like,
e-waste. If
hmm,
we make a beginning with that, you know,
hmm,
and once, we develop the whole system, it's easy to really, add on actually other things.
yeah, great.
And even biomedical waste, actually, we can also, that's also possible, because I've seen another biggest hazard in this country is actually improper treatment of biomedical waste. Even I've seen from corporate hospitals also, they also really don't care or bother where their waste goes. किसी को ठेके पे दे दिया, इसके बाद nobody knows what happens actually, and it doesn't get really, properly treated. So we can probably, see, these are all in informal sector. Let's understand this. They actually,
Yeah,
from a
yeah.
municipality or from a corporation, the entire waste management is very informal. Actually, starting with the kabadiwala, and I don't know where it goes. So that's again, I mean, we can formalize that. The entire
Okay.
thing, the life cycle, probably is possible to formalize.
Mr. Rao, thank you so much. That was very enlightening discussion, and we had a lot of questions, and it's a very timely topic also. Over to our next speaker, Dr. Vijay Singhal, where he's going to talk about integrated waste recycling parks and policy innovation. and he has worked in Rajasthan. He's done IRRP in Rajasthan, and also worked with GIZ and EU. So he has a lot of experience and very seasoned professional. So we look forward to your presentation. Dr. Singhal, please go ahead.
Yes, yes. Is it visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
Thank you very much for giving the opportunity. I'm Dr. Vijai Singhal. I worked with Rajasthan State Police Board, board for more than 37 years, out of which around 7 years as a chief environment engineer there. Basically, I'm a civil engineer from BITS Pilani, and I did my MTech in environment, and I did my PhD in groundwater modeling. So after my superannuation in March 2022, I have started my own company called Green Up Systems, where we offer services for waste management, environmental compliance, and all sustainability issues. My expertise are basically into waste, hazardous, non-hazardous industrial waste, municipal solid waste, all kind of municipal waste, including plastics and other. I'm also expert on biogas and bio CNG. I'm advisor to Oil India Limited on installing bio CNG these plants in the country. And I also work on treatment of industrial and domestic wastewaters, environmental governance, and all related issues. My idea to sustainability is that we keep on are talking about waste recycling, and but I think if we really want to decarbonize, then we need to work on the upstream measures. That is, how do we avoid and reduce the waste? That is the only solution if we really want to handle this menace of waste, because recycling has limitations. I can talk on this topic for hours, but then it's not the time anyway. So in 2001, I pioneered a concept called integrated resource recovery parks, or they're also called integrated waste cycling park, also named as a circular, you know, economy park. So, so basically, we are setting the first part of this kind in India, in Jaipur. Your idea is that a different recyclers of various waste stream, such as e-waste, ELV, or plastic, or any kind of hazardous waste, they are co-located in a well-defined industrial area, so that there is a synergy in exchange of their waste, and not only the waste, they also can exchange the material, steam, their treated wastewater, their sewage, and so there is exchange of material as well as exchange of waste. So idea is that you reduce the cost of transport. You make recycling more affordable, more profitable, and sustainably more it's more sustainable from an environmental angle. So here this park is being set up near Jaipur on a 48 hectare land. Apart from the recyclers, the park also have the entire ecosystem for the recyclers. That is, there will be skill development center where you will find workers who have specific skills for recycling different kind of waste. There will be training facilities for in-house and outside people, public awareness facilities, material testing laboratories, R&D lab, and then there will be a supplier of raw materials to the recyclers, the quality of raw materials they want. There will be storage facilities also for the industries. So we will try to create the entire ecosystem for the recyclers, so that there is exchange of ideas among the recyclers. They come up with some more ideas which are beneficial for recycling community. And recycler is you are able to upgrade and upcycle the waste rather than just looking at routine recycling. GIZ India and European Union has extended their technical support in designing this park. Entire study for the pre-feasibility all have been done through GIZ and EU. And so, so basically, the benefits are many, because the recyclers will get all the facilities at one place. They will get a skilled, uh, labor. They will get the raw material they desired, and of course, the waste exchange will reduce the cost of recycling, make it more sustainable and profitable. Such parks can be based in cities or there may be regional parks also where you look at multiple cities and set up, such park. It's a new concept in waste, and this is the first park in India and probably in the world also. There have been parks where it can be called eco industrial park where you have industries which also practice sustainability issues, but there is a very few or maybe none which are only for the recyclers of the waste. That is so. So impact so far, this park, the first park in India is under development at Jaipur. The initial phase of development is going.
Dr. Singhal, your slides are not moving, I think. You're still at the first slide.
Is it? Should I
Yeah,
do it
yeah.
again? Okay.
We are seeing only the first slide.
Oh my God. Is it shared now? No?
Not yet. We don't see the slides.
Okay. Share it again, yeah.
It's not visible. Maybe Nirti, you can share his slides.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah, it's visible. Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we are on the first slide right now.
Now this is second.
No, this is first. You'll
Not
have.
the second.
Can you
Is
click
it?
on the second one? Second one.
Yeah. I already clicked.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's not
Yeah, I
visible.
think I'll just I don't make it.
Niriti, yeah. Now this is the second one. Yes.
Okay. Let's leave it like this only. I think
Yeah.
if we do it, a full screen, there's some issue.
Yeah, it's
I was
fine.
talking
It's fine.
about yeah. So I mean, I've already I talked about this slide that this park is being set up in Jaipur. Basically, idea is to co-locate all the recyclers in a well-defined industrial area, and idea is to exchange of waste and also other raw materials or other waste like treated sewage or treated industrial waste, and then apart from the waste, it will also have and the entire ecosystem for the recyclers. That is the training facility, skill development, and also public awareness, material testing laboratories, R&D lab also, and also suppliers of the upgraded raw materials which normally the recyclers need. As I told you, GIZ and EU have extended the entire support to establish the park in the form of a pre-feasibility study, as well as entire planning of the park has been done by TERI, GIZ, and other technical institute. So the benefits are many because it will optimize the recycling. The cost of recycling will go down. It will be more sustainable environmentally and financially, and also you will have better recycling rather than a normal area. There will be exchange of ideas where recyclers can look for new technologies, new avenues of recycling, and a better exchange of waste. So such paths can be set up at city level, also at a regional level, where you look at a cluster of cities and try to source the waste from those cities. It's a new concept. This is the first park in India and probably in the world also. We know that there are many eco-industrial parks where industries are there and they exchange the waste. Here we are only talking about the recyclers, not other industries. They produce something else. So in a way, it's a new concept. So this park is coming near Jaipur in 48 acre, hectare land. Already work has already started. A few industries have started, being set up, but entire park will take some time before it comes. So environmental and economic and societal benefits can be only gauged when we have all the activities. But then many states have shown a keen interest in setting up such parks. Andhra Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Telangana, and Delhi. I was to go to Telangana next week to make a presentation to the government. So I've also published a chapter on this integrated waste cycling parks, bringing circularity into waste management in a book Material Energy Recovery from a Solid Waste for Circular Economy. It is published by CRC Press only last year. So how it helped the ability network, as Mr. Rao said, solid waste is the biggest issue when it comes to pollution in rivers and the water bodies. So IRP offers a scientific mechanism how do we promote circularity and efficient recycling and reduce the quantum of waste which will be disposed illegally or on the landfills. The concept is replicable in the cities and various state, and I can support anybody who wants to take any help to popularize this idea. From Ability Network, I can only say that we should advocate this concept to the government and other agencies so that more of such parks are, are set up, and there is a need for guidelines to set up this park, such park in the country. But there are many issues because only enforced rights is very difficult to bring the entire concept. But then there are many issues, intricacies which we need to handle. So there is need to have guidelines to set up such paths. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Singhal. Very interesting concepts. We have a lot of questions. To start with, the first question is that when did you start, like when did this entire park started, the
Actually, this
project?
happened. This idea happened 2001. It was just a casual conversation. We
Hmm.
thought, why not to have
Hmm.
such facilities? Then we talked to the expert, GIZ and all. They supported it. I mean, EU was very keen that a such park should be set up somewhere. So I mean, this idea germinated in third month. Then slowly attraction came. We had discussion with all the recyclers in the country. We had 2 3 meetings. We talked
Hmm.
to them whether this idea is really workable. Do you
Hmm.
like this idea? Overwhelming they wanted such parks to be set up because they said these are the bound. I mean, we don't have the ecosystem to recycle. We have to look
Hmm.
for everything. We have to go for other recycler. We have to go for material testing. So if if there is a park where entire ecosystem with the fellow recycler is there, then our job is half done.
So 2001 you started
Yes,
talking about it, but
yes.
when did you actually start building?
Park started building somewhere in 2024 because the land was
Okay.
already there. Yeah,
And how
land was
much more
already there.
time will when it will be complete?
I think actually there are some intricacies in the sense that land is being auctioned by RICO, that is the agency we developed this
Hmm.
park in Rajasthan.
Hmm.
And industries are not very keen to buy a very high cost land to set up the industries because
Hmm. Hmm.
the cost of land become too high, 8 crores and 10 crores.
Hmm.
So setting up the park become because recycling of waste is a risky business. There are not
Yeah.
many takers still. So I mean, if you want to earn money through the sale of land, then quality recyclers will not come. Only the people who want to hold the land or just want to do business with the land, they will come. So there are some issues. I can talk about that if you want me to do that.
But what is the timeline that you're foreseeing that this project will be over ready?
Probably, I think next 1 year it will take. If
That's all. That's very
Yeah,
quick.
yeah. I think. I
So
mean,
two
no,
years.
entire development will take in phases, but the
Okay.
recyclers will come. The other
Okay.
facilities will come in phases. They can't
Okay.
come. Can't have the facilities before the
Hmm.
recyclers come. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So basically, it's like what you're looking for is integrated system where you'll have different types of recycling happening. And does it include hazardous waste also?
Yes, yes, into hazardous waste only. Hazardous
Okay.
waste also.
Yeah.
Actually, the point is we need to select the recyclers. You can't ask anybody to come here. We will able to see the symbiosis of the waste history we generating. Suppose you
Hmm.
bring a ELV recycler.
Yeah.
Now you will have waste tires, used oil,
Yeah. Yeah.
batteries, steel, aluminum. It means
No, no. What
we
I'm
should have.
saying is that in different parts of the country, there are areas like, for example, in Mumbai, Dharavi is one area. So
Mhm.
informally, Dharavi is also an integrated,
Yes,
recycling system because
yes,
they do everything. They, right from hazardous to electronic waste, and it's done by
Anything,
informal
anything.
sector, and they exchange things from each other. So
There,
it
yeah,
is happening. It's just that having a system and doing
yes.
it legally and doing in a way which is supported by policy makes a lot of sense.
And then not only exchange of waste, you should have the supporting ecosystem for the recyclers. That's also
Exactly.
equally
Yeah.
important than
Yeah.
having the waste.
Because when you're doing
And
in a
that is missing
formal,
everywhere. Yeah,
yeah, there will be a lot of subsidies available. There are a lot of support that comes from the entire ecosystem. So
yes, yes.
great idea.
Yeah.
What is total
mm,
budget, by the way, roughly you're thinking from the size of the land that you spoke about?
48
Uh,
hectares, I think development cost for RICO will not be more than around 2,000 meters square, So,
hmm,
I mean, only development cost will not be very high, but then the industry will have to spend a lot of money depending on the recycling the facility
hmm,
they want to bring,
hmm, hmm.
e-waste or whatever, and then the technology they use to recycle. So, it will depend on them. But then I envisage a investment of something around 500 crores,
And how much investment
minimum.
is already been done
I'll
or
say
by
not
at
much,
least committed?
not much, maybe around 50 CRs only,
Okay.
because
And you
yeah,
received any investment from GIZ and EU apart from technology?
no,
So
they are
what
not
is the
investing.
technology? What is the
They
technology they have offered?
No, they have not offered any technology for the park.
Yeah.
They've only offered supported designing the entire park, how the
Okay,
entire
designing
park
it.
will look like.
Sure,
So I mean, they are
sure.
not offering any technology to recycling. They are
Mm-hmm.
offering the know-how and support how this entire park will look like, the environmental planning, the conceptual, and the feasibility part. So, so there the EU and GIs and
Mm.
entire supported us.
Yeah. I think the audience has some questions.
Sure, sure, please.
yeah. Yeah, I have something to add, rather, actually, for Dr. Singhal, this is an excellent, I would say, kind of an initiative. But then, it requires a lot of government support, right? From
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. I agree with you.
I mean, the very fact that it took from 2001 to 2024 to be really grounded,
Absolutely.
it
Absolutely.
speaks about, how the entire system works. Say, I mean, it would require, see, everyone has to, in fact, principally the government has to understand that the recyclers are doing a favor to to the society,
Absolutely.
in terms of
Absolutely.
it. They should not only look at a commercial point of view, but they should think that because here is a waste, and the industry or the government or the society is not able to waste to manage, and somebody comes, sets up, I mean, a recycling unit, and then, okay, apart from the commercial part, there has to be an incentive, actually, and the land should
Absolutely.
be
I agree with
available
you.
at cheaper
There should
cost,
be a package.
and
Yeah.
the power should be subsidized. So many things. See, I mean, say in 2019, the government of India, in fact, the Ministry of Environment, they came out with what was that time called NREP, National Resource Efficiency Policy, actually, because we have to strike at the root cause. The resource efficiency is the
Absolutely.
root
Absolutely.
cause, actually. We have limited resources in the country, so unless we recycle them, actually, unless we recycle and
Actually, sir,
reuse,
in this
we will
park,
end up nowhere. Yeah.
in this
So that's
park,
why in 2019 this policy was documented, and while I was at that part of time also, I mean, an expert at the committee, so I had an opportunity to participate in a couple of initial discussions. So the main idea was, yes, they were targeting about 8 to 9 core sectors, and then how can we have incentives for that, because nobody will, yeah. So that's the reason why
actually,
it
with my
requires a lot
experience,
of
I can say
government
that
support.
if you
And then
want, if you want
unless
this
that is
park to be
there,
successful,
yeah,
if you want this park to be successful, first you said you need a support from the government in terms of availability of land at a very reasonable price, and then incentive, a package, something like PLI, production link
yeah,
incentives, where you incentivize the recycler. But if you want to set up these parks, these should be set up by the people who know the base, not by the MIDC and GIDC or RICO, which have no idea about the waste. So both things are important: the government support and establishment of park through the experts who know the subject, who can understand the waste and do justice to the waste. You have to select the recyclers on their merit, see this waste streams, and then decide which recycle to allow, which not to allow, not to just auction the land and let anybody come inside. So that will not help.
And Dr. Singhal, there is also another option to this kind of, yeah, actually. Today we have this EPR, extended producer responsibility, for various kinds of waste, whether
I
it is
know,
an
I know, I know.
e-waste or plastic waste. So the large companies who are into packaging or who are into electronics and into several other sectors, they are primarily responsible for the actually, how their waste
I know, sir. I know.
moves actually, and then how it is managed. So the extended producer responsibility, what the government has introduced about 4 or 5 years back, and now various amendments have come into the rules. So that's also one incentive. So therefore, the corporate actually who are into because the corporate is also very big waste generator actually by its very operations, by its operation of industries or by even operation of its services actually. Okay, I mean, so many service industries use so many computers or laptops and whatnot actually. So they come out with a lot of e-waste. So therefore, this kind of integrated recycling parks should also catch hold of some of the corporate and make them invest or make
Sir,
them subsidize or
there's no dearth of
come out with.
investors. Actually, sir,
Yeah.
when we started, we had a line of around 20 investors, the big names in the industry. They wanted to come, but the government support was not available, so they all backed off. That's the real picture, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any more questions for the audience
Yeah,
before we go to
yeah.
the next speaker?
I have got a small question.
Sure,
That
sure.
is for recycling of this, particularly the hazardous and toxic waste. The most important component is the monitoring, means analysis based monitoring. So how what is your thought about that? Who will do that? Who will be responsible for
Actually, there is
recycling
a
or analyzing this?
actually for hazardous waste, they are very very well established guidelines by CPCB. How the waste has to handle, how it can be recycled, what are the ways of recycling, approved way of recycling. There are SOPs for each stream. Hazardous waste is a very very documented, very very kind of streamlined waste. So everything is documented.
That is okay,
Yeah,
but what
yeah.
my point is that that is the
Let
how
you tell me
would
which
you
we are talking
grade that?
about. I mean, every waste system has different characters, how it is to be monitored,
Yes, that
what
is what I'm
parameters
saying.
are to be monitored. But
Yeah,
essentially, it has to be done by the recyclers who will take the waste and recycle. He has to do the fingerprinting to
but
know
can you
the
depend?
quality
Can
of
you
the.
depend on them? Because this is the challenging part. What we have experienced in many places, in many cases also. In fact, the many CETPs, means common effluent treatment plant, also is a terribly flopped, because of the lack
CTP is a
of
different story.
this assessment and all.
CTP is an entirely different story.
No, that is
Hazardous
that is
waste is
okay,
something
but
else.
that also
We
deal
can
with the
discuss on that
hazardous
anytime
waste.
you want. But I mean, a CTP is something else. Whether you have failed,
That also
I
deals
can
with the
discuss with you.
hazardous waste. May not be solid, but in liquid form. That also actually contains the toxic and
We can discuss
hazardous
it
waste.
anytime. I think let's not
Uh,
take
Dr.
time of the
Singhal, on
audience
that
here.
note, do you also deal this integrated park? Will it deal with liquid waste as well, or just for
No,
solid
no,
waste?
no, it will not.
Okay, so this
But then
question.
exchange of treated sewage or industrial waste is one of the fundamental things
Okay, okay.
they should do.
All right. Any more questions for the audience before we go to the next speaker? All right. So we don't have any more questions. So we'll go to the next speaker, Madhuri Singh, who works with JK Cement, and Madhuri will introduce herself, and she has some very very interesting slides and some interesting model that has been rolled out by her and has certain impact that she would like to share. So this is a good opportunity to learn from the industry as well. So over to you, Madhuri.
Thank you, sir. My screen is visible to everyone?
Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah. So, hello everyone. Myself Madhuri Singh, and I'm one of the youngest and less experienced member of this panel right now, because I have this experience of 3 years right now in the field of the environment, and from studies to the job, I was fully devoted to the environment field only. Before that, you must have heard about EIA, Environment Impact Assessment Reports. So I was working in a consultancy during my master's, where I was working on environment impact assessment reports of the cement industries. and there are categorization of projects, and I was involved in each and every procedure of it. Now I am working in the industry itself, this side of the table, in JK Cement, where I am in the role of environment officer, and here alone I am not. I have two people, like two of the seniors under whom I am working, and under the guidance I am leading the under their leadership I am doing the work. So yeah, moving forward, what I do as a part of my work, like before that I was working on the reports. Before an industry start, we need to get an environment clearance, like what the government rolls out, what the guidelines and what the rules industry should follow to establish the industry. So I was working on the EIA reports, and after that, I'm this side of the table. I'm working on the compliances. As we promised to the government, like we are establishing the industry, so we'll take care of the environment as well and follow all the parameters regarding the air, water, waste, each and every parameter which harms the environment. We will do the compliances. So, as environment officer, I look after all the compliances, all the regulatory monitoring. We have machines like SEMS. You must have heard about continuous emission monitoring system.
लाइट बंद कर दूंगा क्या?
Okay. So we have SEMS connected to stacks where we monitor emission. We do stack monitoring by isokinetic sampling also, and looking at the overall 360-degree of the perspective of the environment. We have ESG, we have stakeholder coordination. We need to spread the awareness. Look, when you work to the industry, we cannot like talk in high commanding vocabs in English, like we have to follow the emission, we have to do this. To make the people understand on the ground, we have to understand, we have to make them understand what the environment role plays, how if you will not able to comply the compliances, you need to pay the heavy penalties. So when you put fear onto them, they will, of course, in an industry, as the industry works, I'm talking about how an industry works on the real ground. So there is a fear, to be very honest, there is a fear of paying the penalty. If we will not do this, government will give the letter, show cause letter, we have to pay the penalty. If we will not do this, the NGT will give us the letter, the company will get closed. So the company is now getting more aware about the environment. So like we are looking about environment monitoring, we are looking about the inspections, visits. We have I'm working in the Rajasthan State Pollution Control Board. We have here. So people from the Rajasthan, officer from the Rajasthan Pollution Control Board come to visit our industry, like why the emission is very high, why you're not following all the procedure. So we are looking over all the perspective, as well as the sustainability part is also part of our job role. We look after ESG, environment, social governance. We take care of the environment, we take care of the social also, and how the company is governed, we prepare report accordingly. And whatever we are right now, we as a team, we have three people here, and we are very new to it. All of them have joined on in July 2024. So we as a team, we are trying to fulfill all the compliances. We have created dashboards from digital to the practical on ground level. We are working on it, because in industry you cannot be on like आपको ये फॉलो करना है, आपको वो फॉलो करना नहीं, आपको उनको प्रूफ देना पड़ेगा that we have to follow this. We need to make understand, because we have workers which are less educated. We are not, they are not that kind of educated. We have highly educated people like who feel that environment has no role. Technical cement chalna chahiye, cement banna chahiye, so we can go for it. So we are these are the barriers. Like we have to put a small common sense to them also, like noise ज़्यादा नहीं आना चाहिए. We have villages around the people, so people also come to the industry like आप ये pollution ज़्यादा बढ़ा रहे हो. They demand some illegal demands, they try to harass companies sometimes. So we are dealing with all these things. This is my role, and I will not say I'm expertise on it. I'm just on the learning phase. Moving forward, what was the innovation approach? When I joined there, I was alone. My team has not joined. I was alone. So what I found that I was very new to it. So what was my idea? That compliance, our industry is very, your job is being with you. आपको यहाँ पे तो industry को penalty नहीं pay करना चाहिए. You have to take care of all the compliances. So from digitally, I was like, I have done the MSc, so I was very strong at digital. But from at a ground level, कि emission बढ़ रहा है, we have to contact different departments. When you're in environment department, you have to contact different department industry. You have to contact mechanical also. You have to call instrument. You have to tell process also. So I have what I did. Like I cannot go to every office and like I'm telling you very small impact which I did, because at my experience I will not brag about it. I'm doing very big things, but I'm trying to make a small impact. So what I did, we have a technical head, whole technical head it's the head of the industry. So we had conducted meetings. We told that if you will not do that, the compliances part, I conducted the meeting with all the heads, all different department heads, and I told that we have to control the air data. We have to do regulatory reporting. We have compliances. We have CTO compliances. We have EC compliances. So we worked on a ground level. Like still, our industry got a very stagnant and very like a stable position right now. That one of the government officer visited our plant, and our plant is 50 years old. I like to tell you that. Still, he told us, our team, that this plant is doing very well, the emission are very low. So this was the first impact. What was the idea? That emission should be low. If you want the emission should be low, then cement plant में जो सबसे main चीज होती है वो होती है kill, heart of the cement plant, that is kill. आप kill को नहीं रोक सकते. It will, अगर हम normal भाषा में बोले तो kill ही एक ऐसी चीज है जो हम सबकी salary define करता है. So whatever the thing is, kill.
Madhuri, sorry to interrupt, but if you can speak in English, because a lot of these audio videos are seen by international audience, including a lot of professors around the world are watching these videos.
Okay, I'm really sorry for it.
No, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the heart of the cement plant is kill. If it rolls, your salary rolls. So the main thing is you cannot tell process department that because of your kill and cooler, the emissions are very low. So we just propose that, okay, you cannot stop the production, but you can take some new kaizens. Like if you make the duct hole larger, then it will take less pressure and it will release less emission. That was idea I proposed. So that Kaizen worked very well, and they took the Kaizen. It took 2 months to propose that Kaizen, and finally we got that emission got cooler low. The emission of the cooler got very low. We changed the monitoring stations. Like if the wind flows in a station and that emission also flows in the station, the fugitive emission was very high. So we've changed that. The favorite part of my work was I proposed in a meeting that we are traveling from colony to the plant, which is less than 1 kilometer. Why should we take a car? Why should we not use a pedal power over petrol power? So right now, the 20% of the staff travel by the cycle in our plant and use EV. So that was a way appreciated by our head also. That was a very good initiative. Secondly, we reported the compliance in a very fast manner. Like we started a plantation drive. Like if you, the thing is, sir, if you, like we said, we planted 100% plantation, they planted this species. But the main fact is, what is the survival of that species? If you plant a species, is this native species, it is supporting the climate. So we propose that we will also in the collaboration with the government department, forest department, we will give the profit to them also. Like we buy the sapling native species from the forest department, planted in our colony in the plantation, that survived. That actually worked, especially in the monsoon season. We are now planning to plant that in monsoon season. This was the changes. This was the little steps we applied. We reported the highest emission. We tried to solve this basic problem. The lack of awareness training. We conducted the awareness training and more meetings. So that the environment was a main thing right now, because we should be concerned about the environment. This was the basic changes we did in a JK Cement right now. Moving forward, what are the main thing which was attracted in my final year? Like we have conducted external audits and we passed that to external audit. We have 26 non-compliance in our plant right now. Right now we scored on 2 non-compliance. That is because of also mechanical department is working on it. Second, the waste diversion. So the waste was like we used to collect the waste and dump it on the air. What we did that the waste you collected from the right now before me, the professor explained that the wet waste and dry waste. That was a simple concept, sir. What we did, like we distributed dustbin, red color wet waste, green color dry waste. So we distributed them and we told them the vehicle from the company will come. It will have 2 compartments. You have to segregate it. The red one in one department, green one in one department. So this will be a very small thing. Like this is very common sense, but putting this on a ground level, sir, it is very tough to make people understand that segregation of waste is so important. Secondly, sir, every waste cannot be segregated and dumped in landfill. So we are using that waste in co-processing procedure. We all have heard about the kill. You can use some kind of waste which are hazardous in kill as a part of fuel. So we are doing that co-processing very vastly manner. Like we took all the permissions. We have to take authorization of hazardous waste. Like you can use this waste as a co-processing fuel, you can use it. So we took we just on a ground level, we just collected the data, like what kind of waste we can use in kill. So we took more level of authorization or renewal time, and now we are using in co-processing also. The vast quantity of waste were diverted. It was not landfill, it was segregated, it was reused, it was recycled. And we also proposed that what we can do from the plastic bottles, instead of plastic bottles, what we can do, that we distributed jute bags on the higher level. We cannot stop the plastic right now, sir, but the thing is we can use the alternative instead of that, so that the world can become better. And if you can instead of doing in a larger scale, I believe that it can be done where you work. So we distributed that thing. Water recycling, the main concern of the whole world is right now water. We are facing a lot of water situations. So what we decided, our team will be monitored 1 week. We are you must have heard word about plant shutdown. When the plant is shut down, there is a consumption of less energy and less water, because you are not using. And cement plant works on ZLD, zero liquid discharge. It is not discharging the liquid outside, but it is recycling it and using it again and again. So what we did when doing the shutdown, we had a whole round of plant, and we identified that the consumption of water is not reducing. This symbolizes that there is some kind of leakage or misuse of water. We just made a team and conducted the review meetings, and we ensured that issue was reached out to the technical head. So he told us that there is a serious issue of water recycling, and sir, there is 2 units here, Nimbhada and Mangrove, sister units, both are there. So we were looking on both the units. There was a serious water leakage issue, and what we did, that we identified that issue. And right now, I'm not telling you we have completed that task. We are still working on it, and we have saved some quantity of the water. And on the recycling procedure, we just told that the water that can be recycled morely, it can be. We have established right now the water treatment tank with understanding what the mechanism, how it works. The charcoal is used to clean the water at one level, and which is not able the water which are not being used, we are using in process. And in a horticulture department, we are doing more plantation. And thirdly, sir, PM10 reduction, I am told you that emission was very high when I joined it, but right now we have just a clean environment right now in our plant. So this was an integrated. We just try to create more transparency, more accountability, and reported sir, there are layers in the industry. When you work in the industry, there are many more layers. So when you report to the direct forward layer that there is a serious concern, the concern gets solved, because when a leader speaks, I believe that people will hear that. So these are the basic thing we did in the plant right now in last from 10 months, sorry. Really sorry. So when I read about your concept about the Blue City network, firstly I assumed that this must be some spam or fraud, like doing something. This is very great work. How can a director got a message me like you have to do this? So I was very confused, but then I read about it, and one of my friend was very eagerly reading about your things. So he told me that Saurabh sir is doing such a great work, and they're actually doing some practical works in Rajasthan, sir. I would like to say that the number of rivers and water is a very scarcity state. But definitely I was very eager to work with you, because I believe that environment is not just environment is just not onto the paper, sir. It should be on the ground. And when we talk on the ground, it is very difficult. I am telling you, sir, on paper we can write this, we will do this, we will establish this machine. But when you work on industry, sir, it is cost benefiting thing works on the industry. If you bring a low cost things and provide high benefit, then ideas must be listened. Otherwise your ideas are zero for them, because nobody gonna spend on any extra penny on the environmental. Like environment is not right now for industry, it's not hot topic, sir. I'm telling you very honestly. So when I read about it, the one thing and it came in my mind, sir, we cannot stop we cannot stop development, but we cannot harm environment. This is a very common quote which we hear. So we have to go with the development also, and we have to take the care of environment, which are right now by job role defines that I'm working in the industry, I'm looking all the compliances, I'm not stopping the production, but yes, I'm taking care of the environment. So this is the way you are doing in the work. That is very great, sir. You're cleaning the rivers, and you are really concerned about the rivers a lot, which is not a hot topic for the people right now. People talk about, people have debates, people have a lot of conferences, but on practical ground it's very tough, and you're doing very great job. So for in my as per my experience, so what I can do is I will monitor how can you help in a pilot project, what will be the role, how can my experience can enhance your work, and how can I be the partner of your work, how can I from my job role, how can I take out the time, and what are the ideas can propose via online. If I practically ground also, how can I reach out there to help you out there. So these are the small ideas, sir, which I can do better to help this organization. And you're doing such a great work, sir. And this was the thing I am working right now in my environment field, and I will definitely will learn more from you people. From I was hearing right now.
Thank you,
Yes, sir.
Madhuri. This was a really amazing presentation. First of all, you have great presentation skills. Your slides are beautiful and they're very
Thank you.
clear. So the information is very well designed. Uh, Secondly, I think that at a very young age you have taken a lot of initiatives, and it's also about the energy. Like when you have great energy, when people, it's like it's a kind of a problem which is really affecting the society. So the passion and the energy and that in the drive that we bring from inside matters a lot in changing things. We have few questions. First of all, to start with. Uh, to design the system that you have designed, how much time did it take to design and implement it, the entire cycle?
Sir, if you said that it is implemented right now, I am not 100% satisfied by myself. It is 100% implemented. But to design this, it took from one day to, and I am right now in this organization from last 10th, it is in 11th month in this organization. So right now also I'm struggling and I'm facing all the consequences and all the accountability to make more system more transparent, because people are not in industry, people are not onto desktop jobs, sir. They are highly on the ground, and
Yes.
you have to collect the people. I'm just saying, collect the people and collect their thought and listen to their perspective, how to deal with it, and make them more realistic and more like more punishing things. So right now also I'm struggling, but yes, 40% we have implemented that, and people are right now in our favor, and some are against. They are thinking that
So roughly around 5 to 6 months it must have taken to design and
you can
implement.
say that. Yeah, 5 to 6 months.
And who are the stakeholders in this entire program, like entire plant, or is there a team which was involved into this entire ideation and implementation?
Like stakeholders, or I can say this cross-functional team in the industry, like from different department. We collected the one. We just had a conversation with the head of the department, like who are the intelligent people who can work on this thing. So we just collected the people from that, and as well as stakeholders, you can say that we just tried to, from 1 to 10 2 kilometer of area, there is a village. So we just went on. We just created a awareness session, like on a World Water Day. We just went to the here's a one college. So we went there and people participated and people got to know, okay, what is World Water Day. So I can say people from our department also, from villages, we are just trying to gather the stakeholders, and we are creating more training sessions and transparency to them so that they can really understand what we are doing.
So to understand what you have built in a more like let's connect the dots and understand what is actually built, is if you have to say that these are 5 things which were done in chronological manner, how would you tell that? What are the 5 things you have done that makes the system?
Okay, so first thing is, sir, accountability. I just made sure people are accountable to their work.
No, that is theory. I'm talking about the practical step. What are those 5 or 6 things? Like first thing you did was like design properly, identified the problem. So what is the problem you identified? Then the second thing is that you must have thought that we need to have this approach. So you designed certain solutions. So how was that? So I'm talking about that, the practical things.
Practical thing was, sir, the first problem I identified was the emission was very high, and we were just replying.
Emission was very high, so that's a big problem.
Yeah, we were doing that.
So when you how did you identify the emission was very high? Was there some sort of a study was done, or it came out in some reports, or what was it?
So it is from in industry, emission is visible, like the white fluid gas is
yes.
And secondly, we were getting lots of penalty and show cause notice. In industry, we get show cause notice. That was the problem I got identified. So instead of replying to the every show cause notice, I just had a meeting with the environment, all the stakeholders, cross-functional team. We decided that we should implement a Kaizen. That the first Kaizen should be that the machine that should be create more energy efficient, and we do have a WHRS, waste heat recovery system. So I just told them that we should be more working with the waste heat recovery system, so we can derive the energy from that. And we just had a case study regarding how can we increase the size of the ring inside the duct of the kiln, so that the energy is less required, and it creates less pressure, so that emission cannot be high. So first practical thing I did that, and it worked very in a 3 month. It got.
What is the next thing? What is the next thing?
Next thing was the waste, sir. Waste. We just observed that the waste was directly landfilled, and we have some hazardous waste. which
Okay.
cannot, which we do not have the permission for the co-processing. We need the permission for the co-processing. So we just applied an application for renewal, and we just included that waste so that it can be included co-processing. And for segregation, we just distributed the dustbin on the ground level, and we just conducted an awareness session.
How many dustbins were distributed?
400. We have
400
200
across the village, or
no, across the colony right now. Now
Okay.
we are planning to distribute 1,000 dustbin across the village. First of all, we are preparing at our home, then in the society. So our home is this our colony,
Yes,
Kailash Nagar JK Cement colony. So we are firstly teaching our people. Then we will go in this environment day. We are distributing 1,000 dustbins to the like nearby 2 villages.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you implemented a program, and you
Yeah.
have a team that is accountable for running this program.
Yeah.
And how do you measure the impact? Is there something like, do you audit that we have received? These are the impact. Do you report it somewhere internally to
Yeah.
understand how it's doing?
So I just talked about non-compliances we are facing, and now the audit part was not our part. It was a part of Gas and Pollution Control Board. So they really
No.
went.
My question is not
Yeah.
about that. My question is that you started some initiative. So
Yeah,
how
yeah.
do you monitor the effectiveness of that initiative for yourself, for your team?
So we monitor the initiatives like very simple way. We just went for the manual stack monitoring, sir, for the emission part, and we get that result on the limited area. Second, for the waste, we are on the monitoring procedure right now. We have a team for the waste here also. In industry, we have a team. So we are just connecting the dots, and we are into the conversation with them, and like really it working. And they are telling that not, ma'am, it's not 100% right now, but yes, it is 30-40% people are following that, and we are able to segregate the dry waste and wet waste, and we get to collect some plastic waste. Now the plastic waste can be sent and recycled, whatever that can be done. It is benefiting the company, and we have the EPR system. Like sir told
But
right
frankly
now.
speaking, Madhuri, the dry waste is not, or like this solid waste is not really that's not a big challenge for a cement factory. The larger challenge is the emission or the hazardous waste. So is that also part of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
plan?
Yeah. So hazardous waste, what we can do, that we can co-process in the kiln right now. So we just had a meeting with the production department, like we are taking more permission of hazardous waste. We are including more categories in it, and we have to co-process in. We are just working on it, that procedure, sir.
Okay.
So that was the one challenge we are accomplishing right now.
Any question from the audience?
Yes, I'm reading a question here from Soumitra. Can water recycling system be implemented in any company or industry?
Yeah. When you work on the cement industry, there is a one guideline that cement industry should follow: ZLD, zero liquid discharge. So anyhow, we cannot discharge the water outside. So what we do, whatever the water we get, we try to just use in manufacturing process again and again. And if it is right now, we treat that water. And we have here the water treatment plants here. We have an area designed for the water treatment plants where we treat the water, and we use it as a part of plantation. And if the we take if it is not into the plantation, cannot use the plantation, then we treat it again and again, and then we get a quantity of water which we can use plantation. And we usually take from we usually leave it to the mines pit, where they can, for the dust suppressions, you can use that water for the dust suppressions and other activities in the plant, because water is required in that activity. Yeah.
I have something to add to this.
Yeah.
Because Madhuri is from a cement industry, and in my opinion, cement industry is best suited to really treat the municipal solid waste, the plastic waste, and various other waste. Because today we have what is called co-processing, and in a kiln you can dump lot many things actually, and
including multi-layer packaging.
Yeah. So therefore, actually, a cement industry can tie up with few municipalities actually, and set up these facilities where MSW can be processed, converted to RDF, refuse derived fuel, which has a calorific value of maybe upwards of 1,500 actually, and it can be directly fed into the kiln. That apart, cement industry can also take, for example, tires, plastics, so many other things. So lot many things are being added to what is called the alternate fuels actually into the cement kiln. So therefore, cement industry and the municipalities or these cities, even the tier 2 or tier 3 cities, can really join together and solve lot many problems. And it and the benefits are twofold. One is you are solving the waste problem of a nearby city, and at the same time you are also reducing on your coal consumption, because you are also burning so many other things and replacing all this waste for coal. So therefore the overall emissions come down, your carbon footprint comes down, so it has those kind of benefits. So therefore, Madhuri, you can seriously work on RDF aspect of it and see what all, because I know in Rajasthan companies like Sri Cement, they have done it,
Yeah.
and several cement companies across the country, they've been doing it. So I don't know what is the situation at your Nimbara plant of JK Cement, but this can be definitely tried if not already tried.
Okay, sure, sir. I will look into
Yeah,
this.
that was a very good idea, Mr.
Thank
Rao.
you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Really good idea.
Yeah, Madhuri ma'am, my just query rather,
Yeah.
that have you been able to develop health related data? Because as in the cement industry, as per my understanding, the fugitive emission also that is there. So that largely affects the workers working in that, the staff. So have you been sort of able to develop such kind of data, which are
So,
part of EIA and auditing also?
Yeah, it is part of the EIA and auditing also, sir. But to be very honest, that is not that was not my part. Role of my job, and we have a department to maintain that data. We have an occupational health centers, and we have a doctor and his assistant, his team, to develop and look after all the data. And yes, they look after all the audits. And right now, people in you should visit Nimbahera. I must tell you, because people are very happy here, because we have lots of greenery here, and we have developed more eco-vitable culture. And people, residents are very happy and looking after the health. We have an occupational health center, everything, all the facilities are there. So workers are highly given that kind of position, because this industry is in localite area, so localite workers are more are there. So if they get some health issues, they complain a lot. So companies looking a lot after them and improving a lot. So according to my experience and as per my visibility, there's a department, it is working very good, and the health is really good, doing good in our area, and you should visit here.
Yeah, that would be good, and it would be nice to work with that. I mean, the health data also to corroborate that it is very much eco-friendly also by producing or by presenting data also. So that is from my side. My suggestion.
Any other questions from the audience before we wrap up? So thank you so much, everyone. This was very interesting session. We had different types of speakers, and each one has brought different pieces of puzzle, right from planning, technology, infrastructure, policy. But the common idea is clear. If we want cleaner rivers, we need cleaner systems, and those systems must build to scale. So we have to work on scalability. Scalability is very important. So next week, we'll catch up again with a new theme and new presentations, new ideas. And until then, I look forward to interacting with speakers of the last session and today's session as well. If you want to get on a direct one-on-one longer discussion, we can do that one of these days in the next week. Till then, thank you so much and good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.